I'm Annie.
And I'm Susan.
And this is Two Friends, One Chat.
I like that.
We
tried something different this time.
We did. Last time I think we had a lot of eye contact, so we went a little.
That's right. We had some really intense eye contact last time. This time, none. We were staring at the microphone because we wanted to eye contact with the listener as much as possible.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Mouth,
eyes through the microphone.
No, we don't want to mouth contact with listeners. We can't eye contact. Ear contact. Our mouth to your ear contact. That's what we were doing this. No.
So much work.
Okay, never mind. Welcome.
Oh my god.
Welcome is all we wanted to say.
Oh my goodness. That reminds me of a really old Family Guy episode where they have sex in the ear. And
what?
Yeah, that's what that reminded me of.
No!
And it's where my mind went.
I apologize, listeners. That is not where I was going. I mean, if that's your jam and you're two consenting adults, go for
nuts.
it.
Yep, go nuts.
But that was not my intention.
Oh man, that really made me laugh.
I was trying to figure out what eye contact through podcast was. But it just doesn't work, so forget it. Moving on.
Oh my gosh, moving on. And we digress. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we do have a fun way to start the episode.
Yes.
We had a challenge.
Shout out challenge.
Shout out challenge.
Got high on that one. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh my gosh.
Stick that in your ear.
Do you... Oh my god.
Sorry.
This is such a fun episode. I'm already having such a good time.
I'm on a roll.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, I'm blushing over here. I'm blushing. I'm not.
Pull it together, Susan. Pull it together.
No, it was so good. I can't even deal with it. Do you want to start with your shout out challenge?
Yes. Okay. So if you listened last time, we were talking, our intro thing was shouting out each other and ourselves, which is so important. Shout yourself out.
Absolutely.
And then like a random person. And I was talking about how I should have shouted out a random person and I didn't.
Oh, yeah. It's okay.
But that's all right.
Yeah,
so then our challenge was to then do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Suck it up and do it.
I love that.
I did it. I'm in the Burgerville drive-thru because, I got to have me one of those chocolate hazelnut Bliss shakes.
That sounds delicious.
I don't like milk, but they have the Bliss ones.
What does
it's
that
like
mean?
Oat milk or something.
Oh my god, that sounds so good.
So then I can have it and not feel sick. Anyway, I was treating myself. And there was I got into the world's longest line. And it just never, even as I moved up, like it never ended.
Oh gosh.
And I just kept thinking to myself, like, these poor people.
Yeah.
Like, it just is, the people working there, like, it's a never-ending round of cars, right?
Yeah.
And I said, Susan, you had the shout-out challenge. You shout it out.
Yes.
This week. So I order, and I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do? And I go to get my money out to pay, and there was another 20 in my wallet, and I'm like, do it, Susan.
Yes.
Do it. So I get to the cashier window, because they do accept tips at Burgerville.
Oh, yeah.
Not all fast food do.
Yeah.
They do. Yep. So I handed this sweet little person my 20. Well, I paid for my food, and then I said, you guys take tips, correct? And they were like, yes. So I gave them the 20, and I said, I just want you to know, like, how hard you guys are working. Like, I see the line out there, and you guys are doing, like, such a wonderful job. Like, I just want to acknowledge that. Like, you're awesome and amazing. And the little tip person, not the tip, she's not a little tip person, but the person I gave my tip to was like, oh my gosh, she was like so excited. I apologize. Because I'm not going to assume. They were like so excited.
Yeah.
And she's like, they were like, oh my gosh, you're so awesome. So we shouted each other out. Joy all just sprinkles.
Oh my gosh, it's like joy confetti.
Yeah.
And
joy confetti.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god, I have so many thoughts. My first one is for all of our listeners, I bartended for about 13 years. So there's something really beautiful about people that kind of put their money where their mouth was. If the service was really great and you were working really hard, and that that was really valuable. So I am sure, I am, from my lots of experience in the food industry, waiting tables and stuff like that, that I know that made her day or their day. And like, that is just a beautiful experience to share. And then when you were saying sprinkled joy, I just go to the fact, if anyone's ever worked with the medium of glitter.
Ooh!
Have you ever dabbled in the glitter?
Well, yeah.
It's my favorite. And it gets everywhere.
Everywhere.
And it gets stuck everywhere. But that's kind of like joy confetti.
That's it, because you know that person that got sprinkled with that shout out
is
joy
gonna find it.
Is gonna find it later and pass it along.
Yes. Even if they don't mean to.
Yes!
I think we've got an idea here.
Oh,
yeah.
Look for the merch. Look for the merch. I say this, we don't actually have merch. It's just funny to say, look for the merch.
Someday.
I could see us doing that, though. What if it was little sprinkles of little teeny tiny dollar bills?
Oh my God, that'd be so freaking cute. I can't
but
even
also,
deal.
you should, if you can,
yeah,
you should tip big and well.
Yes.
And if you can't, then shout out with your words.
Yep, I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Okay. So challenge accepted. Check off for me, Annie. Your turn.
Mine's kind of a long story.
Okay. I'm here for it. They're here for it too.
Yeah, you guys are gonna
get comfy.
You're gonna love this. Gonna really just be vulnerable here.
Yes. Here we go.
So I got strep throat earlier this month. And my sore throat came back, so I had to go back to the doctor, which means like a bunch of tests to make sure, like, one, it's not strep, it's not COVID, it's not all these things. And they said, hey, we are going to need to do a blood draw to make sure. I am 38 years old. It came back. We're going to have to look at like some autoimmune stuff, just
all
doing
the things.
Just doing the panel.
All the things.
Now, for all of our listeners who do not know, you know how some people joke about having irrational fears? And then there are those who actually experience an irrational fear, and it affects you physically, right? Like you end up sweating. That's needles for me.
Okay.
And for everyone who knows, COVID, of course, and the vaccine. So I really hate getting shots, and I worked through literally in therapy about like how to make sure I could get this shot independent, drive myself, not pass out. And I've really actually mastered getting shots.
Okay.
Shots now are like, it's a pretty big deal.
Things going in.
Yep.
Got it.
Totally fine. I don't have to look. It's 2 seconds, Yeah,
it really is.
But a blood draw is definitely an eye line.
Different story.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So,
yikes.
I went, so I was like, okay, and the doctor could tell right away. My face went totally pale because I was like, oh, they're just going to prick my finger. That's the other thing I've gotten okay with. So I've really worked through some stuff. And she's like, oh, no. And I was like,
just by looking at you,
yes.
She was like, oof.
Oh, yeah, which is great because it's awesome to have an emotionally intelligent doctor.
Yes, that doesn't
blessing.
happen a lot.
And I was sitting on the exam table and she goes, could you just move to the chair with arms? Because I just don't, and I was like, I've never actually passed out. I can tell it's coming, I usually just lay back and she's like, yeah, no, just on the chair, just move
closer
here.
to the ground.
And we're not even, the needles aren't even out.
We're just talking about it.
Freaking out.
We're just talking about blood draws.
And then it was really cute because I told her, I was like, my best friend and I have a mental health podcast and I just want you to know I'm working really hard to access my coping skills right now. And I'm just and then I'm verbal vomiting because I'm super nervous.
Of course.
And I think she was like, oh no. And so they sent me to phlebotomy. And
that's the lab. That's where they draw your blood.
Yeah. And in my clinic, it's just it's just down the hall. Right. So you walk down the hall.
Yes.
So I'm sitting in the hall and I'm hearing them talk about the lady who had, I could see her. She got her blood drawn. She walked out and they were disinfecting the room. And they were talking about how they couldn't find her veins.
Oh, no.
So it's more sweat, you guys. And I can just feel it. And I'm telling myself, logically, it'll take a minute.
At
you
most
are going to be fine.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, logically, I know that. My brain
Right.
knows that, but for some reason, my body has a certain response. And I will say it was like 11 o'clock and I hadn't eaten anything, which was my fault. I had rushed through work.
Yeah,
to
but
get
you
people
didn't
there.
know you were going to have a blood draw either.
Oh, I
I
didn't.
mean, it's a different story if you knew and didn't prepare, but
Right.
this was a surprise.
Yeah, I thought I'm going to go in for the little, like, throat
The
swab.
swab. Yeah.
Be done. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And so the lady that was, she put on the tourniquet and was like feeling for my veins, and full-fledged, just complete panic attack.
Oof.
And you know what? It wasn't a full-fledged panic attack. I shouldn't say that. It was cold sweats. Like, I can't control what my body is
Right.
doing at this point.
Right.
And so, like, I just looked at her and I was like, I'm really sorry. I actually have to come back because I was driving myself too. And
Yeah.
I was like, and I think I might throw up. Like, and so I'm just like very
Whoa.
articulating to her, and she was so nice. She gave me a little barf bag, and like, and so
Aw.
I ended up calling my husband Aaron, and I was like, hey, I need to do this. Can you make time tomorrow? Because I can't actually drive myself, and I also need someone there, which
Yeah.
is I'm not, I'm a pretty independent person, but needles really,
That's your thing. We
It's-
all have our things.
holy cow. And my husband's great. He's like, I'll just come home from work early, eat some lunch. What was the other thing I need? Eat some lunch. We'll go.
Yeah.
And so we just went back, and of course it was super easy. But my shout out was the staff greeted my nervousness with such kindness.
Yes.
And I just kept verbalizing that because, and she said something, like, it was like the most reassuring thing, and this doesn't always happen in the medical community, but it's called Wallace Medical Center. I'll just let everybody
Shout
know.
out to Wallace Medical Center.
Each person was so kind to me, and I
Aw.
was kind of had made a joke when I came back because it's a walk-in clinic, so I was able to leave that morning, come back that afternoon. And I was like, hey, I brought reinforcements. It's just my husband. And so we're sitting there, and I get the blood draw. And, of course, it takes, like, 35 seconds. And I was like, thank you so much. I'm just so sorry. I just want you to know, everyone. I'm just giving my verbal
Yes.
shout out. Like, you guys really, And she was like, well, I'm just glad you came back.
Oh.
And it was, I just thought, this is so awesome. They made me feel super normal because apparently it is pretty common to have a needle, like struggle
Okay.
with needles and blood draws. And just the amount of kindness I was wrapped in was a really special experience. So mine's a longer story for shout out, but I just really have to re-shout them out too. Like,
yeah.
every person has been so kind to me there, and
Because like you said, that doesn't always happen in the medical community.
not at all.
Not even that they're meaning to be mean, but
No,
I just think
yeah.
they don't. I think sometimes some medical professionals
Yeah.
can lack a little empathy and forget sometimes that
Yes.
this is a big deal to me, right?
Yeah.
I don't come here every day,
Yes.
right? Like you do.
Yes.
And we all really need to remember that in our jobs. But two real quick things. One, shout out for you advocating for yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Right? 'Cause
Yes.
we need to do that
Yes.
in the medical setting.
Yes.
You need to advocate for yourself, and
That's
if
great.
you can't, you need to get a patient advocate, you need to get a social worker, whatever. Like, advocate for yourself. Don't let doctors bully you.
You know
Even
what?
though they might not mean to. Yeah.
We should do an episode about that.
Done.
We
Write
should-
it down.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna write one because we both have different experiences. Like, you're much more medical social work than me.
Right.
So I think we could do an episode where we teach people how to advocate within our systems we understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
I'm sidebarring that, guys. I'm
Sidebar.
writing it down right here. Okay.
My second thing to you
Yeah.
is look at that reciprocal shout outing. Like, you shouted them out and they shouted you out back.
And it felt so good.
Spreading the joy
Sprinkle that.
sprinkles.
Yeah.
Confetti. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
If you want to eat it, it's a sprinkle. If you don't want to eat it, it's confetti. So do it.
I love it.
Spread it.
Spread it.
You get a little, because you'll get a little on yourself. That's what happens.
It really is what happens.
Right.
Yep.
If I get you a gift and I put it in a bag covered in glitter, a little bit's gonna stick with me, but most of it's gonna go to you.
And it'll stick in your car,
Yes!
and your carpet, and your wood floors. You'll find some in your lawn,
In your
like,
eye.
in your eye, forever on your face.
Yeah,
For some reason, you
forever
can
on your
never
face.
get glitter off your face. But it's such an interesting analogy because the same is true with joy, right?
Mhm.
Like, it will end, and you'll remember, because we've talked about words being so important. Hashtag throwback.
Hashtag.
But those things will become memories that will become like, again, right? Your brain can't tell the difference, and it'll burst into your imagination or your memory.
Yes.
And you'll relive that feeling of joy.
Yeah.
So it really is. Well, that was a wonderful, ridiculous intro.
Yeah.
I had fun.
If you did the shout out challenge, let us know. We want to hear how it
Yes.
went. If you didn't and you're just now hearing about it, go do it and then let us know.
Oh my gosh.
We want to hear about it.
Do you want to give our email? I mean, I did get it right last week, but...
Yeah,
okay.
It's twofriends.onechat@gmail.com.
Love it.
All spelled out.
Yep.
TWOFRIENDS.ONECHAT@gmail.com.
Now you're just bragging.
Booyah!
First time.
Booyah!
Just no big deal. Also on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Which is...
A work in progress.
We'll have more.
Two friends. Oh, like what is the handle of it? Oh.
Which is a work in progress.
We're working on it. It's just two friends, one chat. Just
That's it.
All,
Yep.
Just all spelled out. No dots. No nothing.
No, nothing.
Just
Same with our website. If you want to listen on our website, it's just twofriendsonechat.com. So.
do it.
Oh,
Check it
yes.
out.
Okay, yes. And tell us your...
Sorry.
Oh, my goodness,
But
you
then
guys.
also tell us after you check it out.
Do. And
And subscribe. I just learned about subscribing, guys. I mean, I knew about subscribing, but I didn't realize... I think maybe I knew people could subscribe to us, but I hadn't thought about it that hard.
You're my absolute joy.
But I think that's a thing you're supposed to do if you like a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Subscribe to it.
Yeah, we're on Google Podcasts. I'm hoping to further that, but you can subscribe on Google.
There you go.
Yep, and then you'll get alerted to new episodes. Of course, our goal is to have a new episode every Monday. Sometimes we have holiday weeks. But
Shit happens.
Yep.
So if you don't see one, the shit happened, and we'll be back the next week. We got you.
We got you.
We got you.
Yep. And on that note, I'm actually really excited because today we're talking about social circles, social
mapping.
Woo-hoo-hoo, because we posted a little template on our Instagram. It's really simple.
Yeah.
But we're going to kind of go through.
We're social cartographers. I still never looked that up, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I haven't looked at it.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. We're gonna be social cartographers today.
Oh my Lord.
If not, that is now what map makers are called, is cartographers.
And you know what? They will be that forever going forward for me.
Yeah.
So
you're welcome.
Oh, you write maps? You're a cartographer then? Do you cart the tographers?
I should probably look that up.
Oh my God.
My bad. I'll look it up eventually, guys. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. We'll keep you informed and posted. Also, what I kind of love about social work is we map everything, but it's also they also end up looking like the world's most simple maps every time.
Yeah.
But they are purposeful.
Yes. Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah.
When I did my first social mapping or social circles diagram, I think one of the things I really realized was, one, I had a lot more supports than I had realized. I had such a cut and dry mentality about what was an actual support and what was outside.
Yes.
And I was started to actually invest into building those lighter levels. Mm-hmm. And reconnecting with some outer layers. And I have found a lot of fulfillment in that. So
yeah.
I think my journey for social mapping has been, I was like, this is a stupid exercise. I don't want to do this. And then I did it and I was like, oh, and it was these layers of revelation that kind of peeled off. And so I would love to share that with our listeners.
Yes.
Okay. So if you go to our Instagram, we posted a very simple template. Mm-hmm. And what it's going to look like is one big circle with some circles inside.
I got circles of circles.
Circles
it's
of circles.
It's like an onion. There's layers.
There's layers. That's exactly what it's like. It's like an onion if... How would I describe this?
Like if you cut an onion in half, right? And you see all those different...
Layers? I just think of Shrek when he's like...
That's exactly why I said that.
I love that movie.
That's exactly why I said that.
Exactly. If the inside had a bigger heart.
A bigger heart. Oh, 100%. Smart. Smart.
So, the one we're going to reference today, it starts with intimacy. That's your inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
You move to friendship, the next one out. Participation, the next one out. And finally, exchange.
Right.
And, go ahead.
Oh, also, I think just adding, I think the idea, part of the idea behind this circle is right. That smaller, intimate circle are closer people to you.
Oh, yeah.
So just because the outer circles are bigger, it doesn't mean they're more important. It's almost the opposite. Do you know what I mean?
True. Yes.
Yes. This closer into the center you are, the more important and special and that relationship is.
Yeah, I think of it like, so if you're extroverted, you probably have about like up to 8 people that are like your best friends, which is wild to me.
What?
They say that's about the maximum. But now I am very introverted, so I have probably like 5 people that are in that very intimate bubble, right? Obviously, everybody knows Susan is one.
Oh, thank God!
Spoiler alert!
I made it!
I have Aaron, my husband.
Of course.
Small group for me, and that intimacy. So those are the people I'm like, those are my intimate, close relationships. Something really bad happens, something really good happens. That's who knows about it first. Yeah. And then. As you build up, then I have some really amazing positive friendships. Like, there's a group of friends that I have reconnected. A lot of this through social mapping, and interestingly, I read a study, and it said you are most likely to be friends with the people you grow up with.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't kept in contact with anyone I grew up with.
Right.
I also have a very, and we'll dive into this sometime, but I have a very unique experience growing up, like hyper religious.
Right. Oh my goodness, yes.
Yes, and during when the Pentecostal movement was really strong, and so it's kind of a real weird niche of religion. And so I shared that. We were in a really small church, and so I grew up with the same group of people, very immersed in that church. None of us go to church anymore, but we have reconnected.
Weird.
Yeah, we can
wonder why.
We can dive into that.
That's a whole nother couple episodes.
And the thing is the trauma bonding that we experience is real.
Yes.
And it has been so fun to get to know them as adults. And we all went completely separate ways. And then, so that friendship, I'm actually really
kind of growing that friendship circle.
Yep, definitely. Which has been really nice.
Can I side note?
Yeah.
I think it's important to note that just because someone is in a certain level of your circle doesn't mean you're in a certain level of theirs.
That's very true. Yes.
If that makes sense. I can think of quite a few relationships that I think I'm probably in their intimate circle, but I wouldn't put them in mine, if that makes sense.
I think that probably is because you're a really good listener. And I think some people, maybe need to feel heard.
Yes.
And that to them is like,
it bonds them with me. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, maybe their love language.
I guess that was more of, maybe less of a side note, more of a question, just because I think social mapping is definitely something you've worked on more than I have. Is that true, or have I just made that up? That if I'm in someone's intimate circle, does that mean they have to be in mine?
Okay. That's a great. First of all, I think we could totally debate that. My gut says, for relationships to be honest and open, and to experience secure attachment, that you would be in each other's intimate circle.
Okay.
Because, if you're not waiting that, then you might be taking on the therapist role. Or which
ouch. Dropped a little truth bomb on me. Woo! Burn!
Oh, was that a burn? Oh no!
In the good and most appropriate way that your best friend should burn you.
Do you want me to get you some aloe vera?
You need a hashtag truth.
I mean, it is true.
Okay. No, you are right. I need to hear that more often. Thank you. Thank you.
This is what's fun about exercises like this, though, because that's not even a question I would have thought of, but if we're really picking it apart, like, I think when I think of relationships and friendships, and you know what? As we get to the participation and exchange levels, I think this will become even more clear why it's important to have those boundaries, right? Because boundaries are going to come huge to play, because you're right. I think we've talked about it. When you meet Susan, you just have this magnetism, right? But it is true. Okay. And people will really gravitate to you. And I think that you are also very empathetic. So you will take on people's burdens, which is a beautiful trait. But it also requires really strong boundaries. So you don't end up with that upset of like these people imagining, you know, like, or just like,
well, I think I see what you're saying. Because at some point, if you're not in the same circle with each other, at some point there will be an maybe not an explosion, but some hurt and some rifts and some. Okay, I 100% get that. So intimacy level is like safe, trusted people.
Yes.
That's who's in your intimacy circle.
Yes.
And then friends are people that you maybe spend time with.
Yeah, and I think, this is like everything. It can have a very fluid.
Okay.
Because I think of people sometimes like phases in my life where, like, I am sure some of my friends that I have known since I was literally like 2 years old will dip into my intimacy circle at one time or another if like phases of our lives.
Oh, gotcha.
But I mean, right, and we hang out.
So it's fluid. You flow in and out of these circles. Got it.
Yeah. And so I don't want to put too much pressure on like maybe at one point. I would just hope for people that they are flowing at a very similar pace. Because that way, because sometimes life, kids have babies and like that's 9 months where you're like, this baby's priority number one, right? Like you don't have time to just kick it, and so like, those sorts of things and like, and that's a positive thing, babies. Right? Like it's a really positive, beautiful thing. And it does change, like who you're intimate partner. Yes.
Yeah.
And that again is a really positive thing. So then, you have friends, and those are people, you love and care about, and we just don't, no one person has the capacity, to maintain that many healthy, positive, close relationships.
Right.
And your friendships should also be positive and healthy and and so those are people like you hang out with. There's no exchange of goods. I mean, you can totally have exchange of goods, but you know what I mean? Like the goal isn't exchange of goods. It's just people you spend time with.
That you enjoy their company, and so it might not dip like as intensely into subjects that maybe in your intimacy group is. Yeah. But still people you care about, enjoy spending time with, make somewhat a priority to like see and do things with. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Love it.
That's the friendship level. What's the next level?
This one's actually one of my favorites. It's participation. So it's clubs, groups, religious experiences.
Things you participate in.
Yeah. Like, gosh, I've played on an indoor soccer team. In fact, I actually picked up more team sports after kind of doing this mapping, realizing, like, I don't really have anything in that level. Like,
I was just going to say, I literally don't think I have anything in the participation level.
Oh my gosh.
Which is not good.
We're going to have to do an episode where we try stuff for you to see if you like participating in it.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Can I get a little deep for just a quick second? Please. A little mini dive?
Yeah.
I think because I struggle a little bit with boundaries and maybe connecting too strongly with people, participation level sounds scary because that's a lot of people. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Not scary to like walk into a social setting of a group. That I love people.
Yeah.
But I will come out with a couple people attached to me. So it's like, do I have the capacity? Because I'm not very good at like surface leveling relationships, which is definitely a participation level. I think it can be pretty, which is not a bad thing.
No.
Right? But surfacey around whatever that club or activity is.
You know, that would be... I'm interested in exploring that with you because I think a couple of things. Well, I'm having lots of thoughts, really. But I think you're right. And I think it might be like a good boundary building experience to try these group activities and to do them in a way where you help people have appropriate boundaries, because they're totally, you're a magnet. Right. They're going to cling to your magic. Oh. But it might be really important to say, like, oh man, that sounds like it's really hard for you. Let's come over here, like, to basically practice redirecting people for the sake of your own sanity.
You sound like my therapist now.
Oh no! Well, we do get clinical sometimes. Just a little bit.
She does the same thing all the time, though, when we're talking about these sorts of kind of like levels in a relationship. She's always like, or you could also maybe find, like, tell them how to get that support somewhere else. Like, don't be that support for them.
Yes.
But help them find that support in a different way.
Can you high-five your therapist for me?
Yes.
As someone,
I will see her on Wednesday. High-five.
As someone who knows you intimately, high-five her for me, because that is... I think that what you will find is you will have a more socially... See, that's why these kind of exercises are awesome.
So important.
Yeah. And you don't think it's that important. Like, when I was doing it, again, you guys, I need you to know. I was like, this is a stupid activity. Yeah. And it's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I did it, and I was like, oh, shoot. Because I didn't have anything in the participation round. And I was in grad school, you guys. I was so miserable. And I have, even now, and that was years ago, really worked to invest, to find levels, to build this kind of, these social levels. Because anytime something wonderful, anytime something really hard, anytime nothing happens. Right. There are these certain layers that add, I'm trying to think of a good metaphor, and maybe I'll come up with it. But they have a unique way of supporting through all circumstances. And the last one...
So we kind of need people at all these levels. That's why this is important to recognize, where am I missing on these levels. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, what was the last level?
Exchange. This one's my favorite one because I never knew that having like a hometown pub could be a support. But
it is.
It totally is. We have a neighborhood pub. It is like maybe 11 blocks, maybe not even. It's probably less than that. It's probably like 8 blocks. But
we've walked it before. I prefer to drive, but we've walked it.
We've walked it. We've ridden like not motorcycles. I do not drink and ride, but we've ridden bikes up there. We do that a lot during the summer, and we know all the staff. We've been going there for now like almost 10 years. And when I was doing this exercise, so exchange is like, it's like your neighborhood pub. Like, there's an exchange, but it's consistent. You know what to expect. It's a positive experience. And this could be lots of different things for people.
So maybe like the barista.
Absolutely.
So it's not a friendship. You don't tell everyone about everything. You're not in the same club together, but it's a consistent person that you exchange... Usually money, but okay. Oh, interesting.
And it's interesting how much of a support that can be, because here's the thing. I have a semi-crummy day.
Right.
I'm tired. I don't want to. I don't have the effort to call anyone in my intimate circle. I look at Aaron and I just, you know what? Let's just go to Puffs.
Go to the Puffs.
And I know who I'm going to see there. And we've been there long enough and most consistent. We know a lot of the regulars, not well, but I recognize them on the patio. It's also dog friendly, which is lovely. And so occasionally we'll bring Wolf and just, and it is not anything I had considered to be a social support until doing this mapping. And I just realized, wow, this is a place that I can go and feel safe and welcomed, and
I love that. And it really does go to show you, like, all of those levels are important.
Yes.
Because some days you need those intimate, safe people, right?
Yeah.
To really dig with you, and then other days you just need the safe exchanges. Like, I don't have the energy for intimacy level right now. I just need the safe exchange, to calm me down, to bring me back to baseline.
Yep.
Wow.
I know what to expect. Yep. Yeah. It is very interesting. And I think, you know, the more there's balance in these levels, I think it's easier to have a healthier mind-body relationship.
Yeah.
Because you can almost predict, hey, so when something really bad happens, you have a plan, right? You have these levels.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, and you know, kind of on your point, a map like this actually takes personal investment, right?
Yes.
It's not always easy, and it takes time. Yeah. And effort, like a lot of effort. And so that to me has actually been a bit of a revelation, because I can run the site of Hermit. We all know it. Susan's laughing because it's 100% real. And just that recognition, and I got to tell you, my life is way more fulfilled really seeking out those relationships, like the people I love and care about. And even doing this podcast with you is great. I see you once a week. It's like the best thing. Yeah, it's effing awesome.
It's amazing.
So, yeah.
I would assume, again, it's probably more of a question than anything else, that because social circles and mapping, like you said, is so fluid, it would be something you might want to do every once in a while.
Absolutely.
Or when a big change in your life happens.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yes.
Kind of recheck where is everyone at, I
highly, highly recommend anyone listening, just, you know, take a pen or pencil, type it into your phone, but do kind of that social mapping and just kind of make observations. Like, to me, a lot of my observations were like, wow, I didn't know a pub could be a social support. That's awesome.
Right.
But also, like, kind of understanding, like, levels that I could build, and really how important that friendship ring is. And, you know, if you're an introvert, it's not the easiest thing to do. It's pretty exhausting, but, like, the most magical level, right? Like, it's such a beautiful thing. So, I really do encourage, if you want to send us your social circling or your social mapping, email it to us. I would love to look it over and just kind of because I mean, everyone's is going to be different. I always love to see people's 2 outer rings, like what are they doing that they're participating in, and what is their, like, exchange level, because I love to learn and grow and find more ideas, and we have to do an episode where we find things free to participate in, try them out gradually.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like I need to push myself to social map.
Oh,
that needs to be my challenge. So I'm going. Listen, I'm pointing at Annie, but you guys are listening also. I'm going to challenge myself to do this. I don't know, based on what I do and find out, I don't know how much of that I will want to share.
That's fair.
This may just be something that I do, and me and you, because you're in my intimate circle, process real hard.
Yeah.
And because I'm gonna try to draw boundaries, we'll decide if I want to share that with our wider audience.
I love it. We can, like, you know, where you are reading a book and you fold the remember how we did that with
She folded the corner of the page.
With my hands.
Yeah, with her hands.
I'm not holding anything. I just folded
They can't see you fold. They can't see what you're doing.
I got 2 fingers holding the page, just... I did that with core wounds because you had really spent this beautiful time articulating, and I hadn't done that work yet. So I think it's fair to say, hey, let us kind of, you know, and I think I even said, like, I'm going to need a while and I'm still working on crafting it for sure. But maybe it's something we table and come back to because...
Perfect. Because I was going to say, I think once I start this, it might take me longer than a week. Yeah. I think once I get in, I think it's going to take me some serious thinking time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, and hopefully in between now and then, you and I can do some, like, fun activities.
Sure.
See if anything...
Well, we already know I need to grow my participation circle. They already know that. So, yes, that part we can...
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have oh man. For everyone listening, hanging out with Susan is an absolute delight. And truthfully,
right back at you.
I don't think we've ever done an activity and I've been like, this isn't fun, because you're present. Yeah. So I think you just gotta find what brings you joy, and then we, you know, find you a way to participate in it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna. You
I
do
mean,
great.
Yay! So excited.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Send us your social stories, your ideas, your input. I love ideas.
Yes.
Because that's the whole point of this podcast, right?
Things you would like us to maybe hit on or talk about, or subjects that, give it to us. We will give you our opinion. We're really good at that. We will share our knowledge.
Oh, yeah. And that's the other thing is, like, you will have really good ideas for us.
Yes.
And we can shout that out to the audience. And, again, the goal is to make mental health fun and accessible. And just a very open conversation. So email us at twofriends.onechat@gmail.com. Visit our website, twofriends1chat.com. And follow us on Instagram, twofriends1chat. It's all spelled out.
You got this.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Oh, thank you.
Just start typing. When enough of you start typing, it'll just auto pop up for you.
We were Google searched the other day. Can I get a high five? Yeah.
Google search.
So it's happening. And I just want to thank everyone for just listening with us. And I hope you have a really wonderful evening.
Yeah.
Or whatever time of day it is.
Whatever time of day. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
You are worth it. Take a deep breath, and then when you're ready, social map.
Ooh, that's another one we have to work on.
Take a deep breath first.
Is breathing exercises.
Oh, God.
Susan loves mindfulness exercises.
Oh, I hate mindfulness.
We'll get there.
We'll dig into why. But, okay, if I have to.
Oh, have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.